Hi, happy December 2024. I'm Kate Drummond, and I am here to offer a little something I'm trying out, which is going to be a monthly forecast of what I see kind of coming up in the month per a number of different Oracle card decks, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using a lot of different decks. You're seeing me do it here. The purpose of this is just to give you a little bit of support for the upcoming months ahead. And when I work with lots of different decks, what's really interesting is different themes tend to emerge. So we're going to just give this one a try. And I do lots of different things to kind of work with my materials. I use a tuning fork to clear the frequencies of the deck, and I also do that with my intention. I have a set way that I shuffle my materials, my cards, whether I'm working with tarot or oracle cards. I don't think that there's nearly a prescriptively correct way to shuffle, but I do encourage you to develop a consistent way for yourself to shuffle. So let's see again what's coming up for the collective here. Wow, we get crystal. All right, what kind of truths might we unpack here with this crystal card? By the way, I'm reading from the Untamed Elemental card deck here. It's a beautiful deck, comes with a little book, and just because I'm working with so many decks, I may go ahead and refer to them, as I want to make sure I'm not missing out on any of the key elements here. So I'm just looking up where this one might be. Okay, here we go. Okay, as we know, it's an instrument of transcendence, an iconic talisman, right? This is, again, crystals, where do they come from? They come from the center of the earth. And many feel that they're deeply encoded and could even be considered to be healing allies, right? And this also gives a strong indication to self-healing. So what crystal, if you have a crystal that you feel drawn to work with or to use, this might be a good month to pull it out. We're into Sagittarius season. We just had a Sagittarius new moon yesterday. And if you're the type of person who likes to set intentions or work with different crystals or minerals, I would go ahead and think about which crystal might be supportive to you. You may have one in mind. The mineral / crystal that is the December birthstone, I know it can be topaz or turquoise, and I love turquoise as for lots of different things. It's great for protection. It's great for luck. It's just very, very grounding and supportive. Okay, so think about maybe having a crystal at hand, maybe keeping one by your bedside table is what I'm getting, to help you in your dreamscape. I'm gonna move on to another pull, this time from the crystal Mandala, because why not move into crystals following this one up, right? This is Alana Fairchild, and this is the shorter one. She does have a more robust version, but I don't have that, so I'm not using it. I mean, I have it at home, but it's not here at my office. So let's go ahead and see what is going to be maybe the crystal for us to work with this month, or perhaps a crystal that wants to give us its support. Okay, and for this month, we get the Archangel Anael in the pink calcite. The theme for pink calcite is acceptance, okay? And acceptance is, as this card states, the pathway to transformation. So we might be feeling out of control in certain areas of our life or with certain world situations that are going on, and there's many of those situations at hand right now that are calling our attention. Where can we lean more heavily into acceptance of what is? And also, when do we know the difference of when we need to accept and when we need to act? They're not, act in accordance to what you're divinely called to. I'll say that sounds kind of grandiose, but how you're called to act in a way that is, how do I want to say this, is of good character, and not in any way that would harm yourself or others, right? So look at your shit, excuse my language, but get called into action, and then also feel the acceptance. Some things we can't change, we don't have control over. So the more quickly we can move into acceptance, the more quickly we will be out of pain. in short terms. This is a little wobbly, I apologize. Okay. All right, so that again was from the Atlantic Fairchild Crystal Mandala deck. Beautiful mandala. We're gonna get a little weird. Okay, this is getting we're gonna move into the weird territory, if you will. But again, this is a deck that really, really lights me up. And I feel called to tell a little story about it because I had many, many decks and did not know that this deck existed. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. This is called the Galactic Heritage deck. I was getting a reading from somebody who later became a friend and a business colleague, but she was offering reading lots of different decks on her table, and I immediately saw this one and was very much drawn to it. This is an incredible deck. This is by Lissa Royal Holt, and really it's, for me, it's less of a heritage type of card situation, and it's more of just these profound life lessons, these profound things for us to contemplate and consider to help raise our own vibration and the vibration of humanity collectively. Okay, and we're getting here courageousness. It is from the Lyran group of beings, and how can we act courageously at this time? And sometimes the mere act of acceptance it's quite courageous to do that. Just a thought, it's really important to be brave in these times of uncertainty. It's really, really important to just do the things that take courage. Do the things where you need to take a little bit of a leap. You know that you're going to be in a life that's worth living if you can act with courage, if you can be courageous in all of your decisions and all of your steps and all of your choices. Just because, again, this is such a rich explanation, I'm going to take a quick gander just to make sure I'm hitting all the points. This is also drawing attention to our heart space now. And courage comes from the heart. So how can you open your heart? How can you soften your heart amidst adversity? I think this is a great challenge for all of us right now, is the ability to soften and keep the heart open despite when we are going through such adversity, despite when the world around us, we have people who are suffering everywhere. We have polarities on full display. I mean, that is happening. So where can we be courageous? They're indicating that this is the Lyran civilization here. And what is a hallmark of this civilization is that they had to overcome great adversity and they needed courage to do so. So again, you know, knowing when to accept the things I cannot change and the courage, and knowing when I need to act and the courage to know the difference. So we were talking a little bit about acceptance and action, and, you know, also having the courage to be able to discern when you need to accept and when you need to act. And if you need to act, the courage to be able to move into that space. Okay, moving right along, we're going to get into one of my tried and true, very favorites, Marcella Krall, Sacred Symbols. I think this is the 3rd edition, and I believe she has a 4th edition out. These are independent. This is an independent deck. It's an indie deck. She did the art. She's amazing. She's neurodiverse. This deck, whatever magic she wove around it, it is right on. It is 100% accurate for me all the time. The messaging is really simple and true. So let's go ahead and see what she's got to say, or what Spirit, in other words, has to say for our collective reading for this month. This is fun. This is like what I do with my friends, or when I throw myself a big old spread. So we're just trying it out, seeing if it's something that people want to hear more about or receive. Beautiful. Okay, so this is such a gorgeous card. Spiritual cleansing. Okay, y'all, so this might be a time, if you're going through some challenges, to go ahead and book yourself a session with somebody, or do self-healing if you're a practitioner. This might be a time to take an Epsom salt bath to support yourself, to clear other people's energy from around you. This also could be indicating that you're about to take kind of a bump up, spiritually speaking. You might be in some kind of an evolutionary process. You know, I say spiritually speaking, but it could, I mean, I kind of view life as your spiritual path. That's me. Maybe that's just me. But I believe that life is a spiritual path, right? So what can you do to elevate yourself right now? What can you do to cleanse and release all that is not serving you? Maybe upon the full moon, maybe doing a little burn, a ceremonial burn, letting go of things, writing things down, and then tossing them into the fire, making a bonfire. You could even put it through a shredder. I mean, you know, there's lots of ways that you can do this. If you do have a good healer that you know, this might be the time to connect in and tap in this month. Always around the holidays, we're getting kicked up with a lot of stuff. The veil has gotten very, very thin in the fall, and it continues to be pretty thin. But these are deep contemplative times when we're facing a lot of our own stuff. And give yourself a gift of a spiritual cleansing. Whether you know a good practitioner, there are many, many people in the Atlanta area. If you're in the Atlanta area, just know that there's also people all over the place. So if you've got your person, book it in with your person. You know, I will say I do offer sessions. I do have a few in December. If you feel like booking in with me, I'm at the Energetic Heart in Southeast Atlanta neighborhood. You can feel free to do that. But again, if you have self-practices, just up your self-practices. Personally, I know that I've been at this a little bit. So when I kind of hit up against a wall, I know when it's time for me to have a session. And I have a number of different things, a number of different people and practitioners that I use. And sometimes it might be going to a sound bath. Other times it might be, getting a little biofield tuning. Other times I might want to do astrology. Another time I might just want a massage, some body work. you know. Other times I'm going to go and receive some Reiki, right? So it just really depends on what you need, what you're thinking. I do have a regular practice, a daily practice that I do for myself to clear my energy field, charge it, and also tap into my heart. So I do advise that if you're able to create any kind of nurturing opportunity for yourself, to make that like a non-negotiable, right? It's a good time to make that a non-negotiable. So let's recap what we've pulled so far, and then for the finale, I would be honored to share a frequency from this Auric Light Alchemy. This is a body of work that I channeled. There's a great story behind that I'm going to be sharing with people soon. But this happened in 2021, where in my energetic work, the very short story is that I was seeing lots and lots of symbols in my work. I would see them all the time. Sometimes I would see so many pouring into one of my clients who's laying on a table, all these symbols, and I didn't truly understand it, other than I knew that they were high vibrational and multi-dimensional. I could kind of see them, but I was very curious about the symbols. And then I received a message from my guides that they wanted to bring through some teachings through me. And when I meditated further upon it, I was asked to go to Arabia Mountain, which is outside of Atlanta to the east, which is basically a giant quartz rounded rock. So it's like a quartz, or not quartz, but granite, which has a high content of quartz in it. And it's basically radiating out in this amazing dome shape. You can imagine the intensity up there. So I went up there for 8 days, and I received very specific symbols, and the symbols contain these healing frequencies, and I was guided to create them like this, and I teach classes. I do have a level 1 class. I'm going to be teaching levels 1 through 4 in 2025 in a new format. Very excited. Starting the first level 1 is in January. It's in person. And the second level 1 is sometime in March. You'll have to check the website. And that one is remote. So you can take this training if this is of interest to you, you can take this training in person or remote. You're also getting 2 full days of energetic upgrades and lots of amazing frequency. So let's go ahead and see what would be best to be shared with you all today in this moment. Oh, beautiful, very celebratory. I'm a Sagittarius. This is my season. I feel like I'm coming into it. I'm excited. I've felt very good since Sagittarius. We entered into this time in November. Will carry us through most of December. But this is the Inner Bliss frequency. I'm going to ride this along with a tuning fork with the DNA healing 528. So because these are quantum frequencies, I can send this to you without being right next to you. I can do it on this recording, and the frequencies are contained in the recording. So just know that this Inner Bliss frequency is coming your way. This one feels fizzy to me, a little bit effervescent. This one, I was told, rides on the nadis, N-A-D-I-S, of the body, which are like, there's apparently 72,000 of them when I looked it up in the body, and this follows along the Ayurvedic or the Indian study of the chakras. So nadis are not exactly the meridian points that are identified in Chinese medicine, but they're in the Indian tradition. Send it some more. I'm And I'm being shown to send this frequency in as an entry point into the heart and into the lower back and the base of the skull. We're going to do it one more time. I want you to focus on the heart, the base of the skull, and the low back. You can look at the symbol. You can sense and feel. All right. So just a quick recap. We've got pulling in the crystal energy. You may want to work with pink calcite for this one to help you with some acceptance. You can also work with any other stone that you feel called to. It might be turquoise or anything else that you have that you feel especially drawn to right now. This is where you can go into your own intuition and find out what works best for you. You don't always have to listen to what I'm saying or what anybody else is telling you. You can listen to what you're getting yourself. Having some courage to face some things that maybe you've had a hard time accepting. So having some courage to face some of that, the courage to know when it is appropriate to act and when it's appropriate to go into acceptance. And get yourself sorted with a spiritual cleansing of your choice, your choosing. Okay, this might be as easy as taking a nature walk, a hike, getting a salt bath, or you can get fancier and go get sound bath, any kind of Reiki. I'm here offering support at the Energetic Heart, an awesome studio in Atlanta. Feel free to book in with me. I do have a few spots open still for December. And then just let this joy feed you. Work with this inner bliss frequency and just allow it to really feed you and nurture you. Knowing that, like, what if we already had everything we needed? What if it's already inside of us? What if we've got it all already? Just sit with that one and ponder it and let the effervescence of this awesome, uplifting frequency nourish you. Sending so much love. Thanks for being here with me, guys. Bye-bye.